Chapter 15. The house was the turn of the 20th century bungalow. It featured white wood siding, blue shutters and trim, a small porch with a chair, and a planting area for flowers that were currently under a blanket of snow. There was a shoveled pathway to the door, where multiple footprints were rounded out by a thin layer of snow. The rear of the house backed up to woodlands. Decker walked up to the front door and knocked. When no one answered, he took off his gloves and retrieved a set of lockpicks from his jacket. Kneeling down under his eyes was in line with the keyhole. He inserted the first pick into the lock and felt for the tumblers to click into place. He was working away when he heard a male voice. "Excuse me, can I help you?" Decker turned around and stood up. He brushed off his knees, now dusted with snow. "Police." He took out his badge and the man gave it a once-over. He appeared to be in his late 70s or early 80s, with white thin hair sticking out of the front of his green Celtic snow cap. He had pale blue eyes with weathered skin and a stooped gait. "And you are?" "Harvey Halloway. I live across the street. I'm looking for Katrina Belford. She didn't show up for work this morning, and her colleagues are a bit concerned. Have you seen her this morning?" "No, not this morning." "What about last night?" "No, not last night either." "Would you know when was the last time you saw her?" He gave the question honest thought. "I say a day or two ago. I usually take a very early morning constitutional, and I come home just after around the time she leaves for work." "And what time would that be?" "Around 7:30. "Is she a friend of yours?" "Just an acquaintance. We exchange morning salutations. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Harvey. She picks up our papers when we go out of town to visit our daughter. But I mean the missus and myself. Katrina says she likes picking up our papers because she doesn't subscribe to any newspaper, and it's a treat for her to read them in the morning with her coffee. I asked her why she doesn't subscribe to the local paper. She told me she just gets the news off the internet. It's a generational thing." He held up a finger. "We did get her a subscription to the New Yorker for Christmas. Actually, it was the missus' idea. Katrina was very appreciative. She made us a cake, very professional, one of them thin-layered things with lots of cinnamon and spice. I think she said it was a Dutch cake, kuchen. She had some Dutch blood in her. Anyway, it was a delicious cake, even though we didn't need the calories." "Sounds like you two were pretty friendly," Decker said. "Just because I'm a friendly guy, I talk to everyone. What's going on?" "Like I said, her colleague was concerned that she didn't show up for work today." Decker paused. "Does she seem to have a lot of friends?" "She isn't the party type, if that's what you're asking." "You think something happened to her?" "No idea. I just want to take a look around because her no-show is unusual." No one spoke. Decker asked. Decker said, "You've been in her house before?" "A few times. To thank her for cake, for instance." "So you can come in with me. Tell me if the house looks like it did the last time you went inside. Just don't touch anything, okay?" "Is that allowed?" It wouldn't fly if this was LAPD. Neither would picking her locks, but this isn't LA. It's a small town, and when the folks here don't show up for work and no one can contact them, I get concerned." "You don't have to go in, Mr. Calloway." No, I want to help." "Okay, this should only take a few minutes." Decker bent down and finished picking the lock. It sprang open, but there was a chain lock preventing the door from opening all the way. That was usually an indication that the person was inside the house. It was also possible that she left via a back door. "Hold on." Decker closed the door partially, and with a hook managed to displace the chain from the slot. He opened the door into a tiny living room stocked with old-fashioned furniture that could have come from Grandma's attic. More than likely, the pieces came from the house. There was a Kerlick oak frame couch with white and blue RS upholstery, an oak coffee table, and a couple of used wing chairs. There was a desk piled high with papers and an oversized computer monitor, and behind it was a bookshelf filled with academic tests. Several framed photographs, her with a blonde man with long hair, both with full smiles and holding skis and ski poles. There was another photograph of an older couple framing the old blonde man and Katrina. Lastly, in a silver frame, there was a headshot. Katrina's chin resting in her hand. Decker slipped on a latex glove and picked up the ski picture. "Boyfriend?" "No idea." He put it back down. "Does the house look tampered with?" "Not at all." The living room was divided from the kitchen by a marble countertop. Decker glanced at the kitchen. Nothing was out of place. The food in the refrigerator wasn't old or rotten, he said. "I'm going to have take a look around." "Can I come?" Decker took in a deep breath. No foul odor indicated a dead body, but it was cool inside. It might be better if you waited for me here. I shouldn't be more than a minute. Okay. Just please don't touch anything or sit down, if that's okay. I'm fine. It took around 10 minutes to do preliminary search, and everything appeared to be in order. The house had 2 bedrooms with 1 bathroom that went off the hallway. The beds were made, the bathroom was clean, and the back door was locked. Decker went back to the living room. We can go now. Anything suspicious looking? Decker shook his head. No. I'm going to look around back and trample through the woods a bit. I'd hate to think she was out there with a broken leg or something, waiting to be rescued. Can I come with you? No thanks, this is a police job. Can you let me know if you find anything out? Good or bad? Of course, if you need to warm up, I'll put the kettle on. I may take you up on that. I'm fine for now. The two of them left by the front door with Calloway going back to his house. Decker retraced his steps through the house and left the back door. The rear yard was small and covered with snow, but it did tell a tale. The snow layer was anything but pristine. No clean footprints, but a lot of upheaval with bumps and lumps all over, like someone was covering tracks. Decker stared at the yard for a minute, trying to decide what to do. Next, he took his phone and called McAdams. What are you doing now? I'm studying for finals at the cafe at Need Lot, waiting for Lennis Tovas to call me back for an appointment. Keep studying, I'll talk to you later. Wait a minute. There, Pa, what's going on with Dr. Belford? She's not in and her house looks undisturbed. Go back to your study. You didn't call me just to say everything's okay. What's going on? Truth, please. Decker owed him that much for being a good cop. Her backyard looks hinky. The snow layer has been messed with, like someone was trying to erase footprints or drag marks. I say that because the house backs up to the woods and I'm wondering if her body might be there. I'm going to take a poke around. Peter, wait for me. No need. You called me. This classifier is a dangled carrot. Okay, I'll wait. But get there here soon. I'm cold. I'm in a coffee shop. I'll bring coffee. Make it large. I have a feeling we're going to be here for a while. In any season, woodlands hiking was tricky business. There was a sameness to the forest and it was very easy to get disorientated. Plus, phones often didn't get good reception, and if they got any at all, in freezing weather, when the trails were iced over, and each step had to be made with care. Decker knew that getting lost was not an option, especially with Tyler in tow. He opened his car trunk, pulled out his survival backpack, and looped it over his shoulder. It had water, thermal packets, freeze-dried food, and most importantly, a warm change of clothing. He had a compass, a pad of paper, a camera, and some evidence bags. The woods in winter were 50 shades of grey, and none of them sexy, stark, colourless, and bleak. Thousands of bare trees sat in snow, their roots buried under scattered citrus and rotting flora. Evergreens and pines were scattered amongst the deciduous trees, and Decker got a hint of Christmas around it depending on how the icy wind blew, and the entire place dripped water, cold and clammy. McAdams shifted on his feet. How long do you reckon to be out here there? A couple of hours. Thanks for the coffee, by the way. Are you warm enough? I'm fine. Do you want to carry that? Me to carry that, old man? If you're going to call me old man, then yes, you can carry that back. Decker took it off and gave it to McAdams. This is heavy, you offered. The kid smiled. It opened up his face. McAdams was a good-looking boy, a thin, patrician face, long, straight nose, hazel eyes, and normally short, dark, curly hair. Girls would think him handsome if he'd lost the perpetual scowl. They took their first tentative steps into the woods. Decker looked around. Some areas were more protected than others, which meant the snow layers were uneven, so no shoe prints to be seen, but there was the same disturbance that he found in the backyard. He looked around and sipped coffee. What are you thinking? McAdams asked. That she was killed and dragged into the woods out back. I didn't see any evidence of a murder scene in the house. Nothing upended and no overwhelming smell of bleach or antiseptic. But I didn't take a microscopic look. So maybe she was taken to the woods at gunpoint and the bad guy shot her there. I don't know, Tyler. Decker paused, then pointed. The snow has been messed with between these 2 trees going up the hill. Let's go there and have a look. They walked a few minutes without talking. The snow crunched under their feet. Decker trudged slowly, looking up and down, to and fro, left and right. Not likely he'd find anything of evidential value, but at this point in life it was a habit. They seemed to be treading on a natural trail with the ground underneath somewhat free of rocks or roots. The snow was steep, but he could still feel the ground under the sole of his foot. As they climbed high and went deeper, the temperature dropped and an Arctic mist rose on the ground. Visibility was curtailed. "This is creepy," McAdams said. "It doesn't bother you. It's like flying blind." "Then we're lucky we're talking and it's in daylight. You are intrepid. This isn't the wilds of Africa." Decker stopped to survey his surroundings, check his compass. "Let me just take down a few coordinates. I was never one for camping growing up like you did. I'm not surprised." Decker looked in. "We're about 5 minutes from civilization. Nothing's going to happen to us." "What if the Yeti isn't a myth?" Decker laughed. "Come on, Tyler, let's go this way." The old man led the young lad. The old man led and the young lad followed, the two of them walking for another 10 minutes deeper into the bowels of the woodlands. The trek was slow and slippery, the gelid mist stinging the eyes, the temperature cramping the muscles and numbing the face. Decker kept his eyes focused on the disturbed ground until they reached a copse of tree. He stopped. The ground was covered in puddles of snow and dead foliage, but he could see clearly that the location had been the target of recent activity. There were wild animal tracks, fox, rabbits, steers, vultures, maybe a deer too stupid to hibernate. Decker's nostril perked up. "I'm definitely smelling some kind of carrion. I can't smell. I think my nose froze." "Let's follow my nose. It can't be too much further." "Oh, joy. Don't get sick on me, McAdams. You might have gotten a little soft these past months." "I'm fine." He adjusted the straps of the backpack. "I think." Decker motioned him to the right. They walked a couple of 100 yards, and as they did, McAdams said, "Yeah, I'm smelling something now." More walking. Tyler covered his nose with his gloved hand. "God, that's putrid." "Yeah, it's pretty bad." Decker stopped in his tracks. "Oh dear God." They were both looking at the half-eaten nude corpse. Most of the torso was gone and had become an empty bowl of blood and torn guts. The neck had been eaten through as well, leaving a decapitated head that had rolled several inches from the body. The legs and arms had sustained numerous bites, with chunks taken out of the flesh. She had been nude, but her clothes lay piled neatly beside her body, reminiscence of Elijah Wolf winking from under the detritus or something metal. Decker squatted down and brushed a few leaves aside. He was staring at a 9mm Ruger stainless steel pistol. He left it where he found it and took out his compass. He made a small map on his pad of paper and then he looked up. "Let's go back and call it in." He looked up at McAdams, whose skin was tan, pale and ashen, not from the cold. "You okay, Tyler?" I think he nodded. "This isn't pretty bad. It's very, very bad." "It is." Decker took a swig of coffee drink. "I don't think." He did a dry wrench and swallowed hard. "I'm okay." "You're grey, Tyler." Decker took out a camera and began snapping pictures. "Catch your breath and drink the coffee. It'll help because it's something going down the gullet. Other things can't come back up." "You think so? Are you going to heave?" "No." Another swallow. "I'm fine." To prove it, McAdams took out his iPad and began taking pictures as well. Looking through the touchscreen camera was helpful. He could pretend he was watching Netflix.